Hey, what is going on, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Talk Junkies, where we're talking some good stuff this week. We have the Rams versus the Chiefs. It's going to be a great game, and I'm excited. Am I excited that they're not playing in Mexico? I'm not really that excited because I think it would have been more of a neutral site for the Chiefs. But either way, I'm going to go into today our Monday night's game. I'm going to kind of go over a little bit of some stuff. I was reading some articles last night, and come to find out that the Chiefs and Rams are almost two identical teams battling for the number one spot in football. Granted, the Rams dropped since they lost to the Saints, and some of the metrics have the Saints won, and a lot of the metrics have the Chiefs won. So, regardless of the situation, let's get into it. And thanks for listening. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. And if you want to know anytime that I upload a video, hit the bell notification. Jesse and I will be going hard Sunday night. On not really sure yet, but we'll also do some NFL as well. So when it comes to let's go with the Rams offense first. So we are playing at home, so they will have some sort of an advantage. They have been played tough at home, so I think that there's some wiggle room for the Chiefs. There's definitely an opportunity for them to win the game, but it is going to be tough. The Chiefs will be vulnerable when it comes to the run, but let's start with the Rams offense. So points per game, they're at 33.5 points per game, which is third in the league. Yards a game, they're at 448 yards, which is second in the league. And their third down conversion is at 45%, so that's eighth in the league. Their red zone scoring is at 56%, and that is 16th in the league. So when it comes to the Rams offense, yes, they are very good. Yes, they do have explosive players. They do at two tight end platoon, I think, for 27 catches and like 226 yards or something very minuscule. So the Chiefs had the advantage of the tight end position. And I think Cooper Kupp, I think he did get a concussion last week or hurt his knee, I believe. So I think he might be done for this season. I need to look into that and see if that's the case, because if so, then that's one less weapon for Jared Goff to sling the rock around. But I think it's mainly going to be a lot of running from the Rams. They're a very balanced offense. And when it comes down to Monday night's game, I think a way for the Rams to control the clock and win the game, it's going to be a heavy dose of you-know-who. So let's just get ready for that. So when it comes to the Rams defense, they give up 23 points per game, which is 12th in the league. When it comes to yards per game, they give up 355 yards per game, which is 13th in the league. And their third down conversion defensively, they give the third down conversion rate against the Rams defense is at 41%, which is 22nd in the league. And the red zone scoring is they're 24th in the league at 67, almost 68%. So there are some opportunities. Granted, the Chiefs do have, one, in my opinion, the best offense in football. We will have a lot of opportunities to score in the red zone. Granted, as you can tell, the Rams are 24th in the league when it comes to the red zone. Being able to defend the red zone, they're not really that good at it. Third down conversions, also, they're 22nd in the league, and the Chiefs get a lot of first downs. So, I mean, they may not even be in a position where there is a lot of third downs in this game. This game is going to be crazy. The spread is one of the highest ever, or not the spread, but the point total is at like 63.5 points on Monday, I think, which is one of the highest totals ever in NFL history. So, it's going to be a fun game. So, Rams run the ball 45% of the time, which is fifth in the league. They average 4.9 yards carry, which is sixth in the league in football. They run the ball almost 30 times a game, which is a lot, and that's fourth in the league. And they average 144.8 yards a game rushing, which is second in the league. And they have a lot of Todd Gurley has a lot of rushing touchdowns. Offensively, they pass the ball 54.48% of the time, which is 28th in the league, surprisingly. And I remember whenever Jesse and I did this first video on this, and I'm not sure if that individual who commented on that video when it was Chiefs and Rams Outlook, and this was like 6 weeks ago, he was just trying to say that Cooper Kupp and Brandon Cooks is a better wide receiver tandem than Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins. And I don't know, I just think it's kind of funny. I don't think Sammy gets the ball as much as he could because there are so many other targets in the Chiefs offense. But Tyreek is hands down better than Brandon Cooks and Cooper Kupp. So I don't want to hear any of that nonsense. But that's just my opinion. The completion percentage from Jared Goff is right at 68%, which is seventh in the league. So he is pretty accurate. He's 9 yards per pass, which is number one. Wow, that's pretty interesting. with Cooper Kupp being hurt, I think that will affect him. Passes a game, 33 passes per game, which is 20th in the league. And then he gets sacked 5% of the time, which is 8th in the league. So that's in the Rams offense in a nutshell. It's going to be a lot of Todd Gurley. He's going to be running the ball a lot. There's going to be gaping holes. Granted, the Chiefs' defense last week did really well, and everyone's just like, man, the Chiefs' defense is coming along. The Chiefs' defense is coming along. Well, we played one of the worst offenses in football, the Kansas City Chiefs did last week, so that would help them, make their defense and look better and their numbers better. All right, so we're going to go with the Rams' rushing statistics and passing statistics defensively. Opponents run the ball 39% of the time on them, which is 18th in the league. 5.2 yards per rush, which is last in the league. So if the Chiefs are smart, they're going to use Kareem. I think there's only been 1 or 2 games this year where he's had over 20 carries. So this is going to be a great game for him to get in the game and rush the ball. 5.2 yards a carry, that's insane. There's going to be a lot of wide receiver handoffs as well. The Chiefs like to do that. They'll put Tyreek in motion or Sammy in motion, and then they'll run right behind Patty, and then they'll hand the ball off. I don't know how successful that'll be, but we'll see. I think that's a glaring statistic, and the Chiefs have to take advantage of that. Opponent rushes a game. They rush the ball against the Rams 23 times a game, which is 8th in the league, which is surprising. Well, maybe not, because the Rams have been in a lot of close games this year. So just kidding. Opponents' rushing yards a game is they give up 122 rushing yards per game, which is 24th in the league. So when it comes to passing, opponents pass the ball on the Rams 60% of the time. Opponents' completion percentage, 65%, which is 18th in the league. So they're, right in the middle of the pack when it comes to completion percentage. You got Marcus Peters. He got tore up against Michael Thomas. And I'm excited to see Tyreek. I just hope he just zooms by Marcus Peters and makes him look like a little crybaby. Opponents' passing yards a game, they average 233 yards per game, which is 11th in the league. And the opponents are only throwing interceptions 2.13% of the time, which is 17th in the league. And they get 7.34 sacks per game, which is 11th in the league. So that's the Rams' offense and defense statistically in a nutshell. So my takeaway from this is on Monday night, the Chiefs have only lost 1 coin toss. So regardless, whoever gets the ball first, they're most likely going to score. I was reading that the Rams are actually kind of slow in the first quarter, and they've only, I think, scored like 70 points in the first quarter, and then it's whenever it's the second and third quarters when they start scoring their points. Well, they can't do that against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs averaged the most points in the first quarter in football this year. I think over 90 points or something like that. So you can't do that. You can't get behind against the Chiefs. And if you do, well, I guess you can, because Andy Reid can get conservative. He's shown that in the past 2 or 3 games, but I just don't think it's a good idea to play from behind against Patrick Mahomes. And you are at home, but you can't start off slow. And if they do, I think it could be in the Chiefs' favor, obviously. But here's what's going to happen. Todd Gurley is going to get a heavy dose of running the ball. He's going to average. The Chiefs give up a lot of yards per carry. I think it's 4.8 yards per carry. And Todd Gurley is a beast, okay? If he gets the ball 25 to 30 times, you're looking at, I think that the Rams probably win the game if Todd Gurley gets the ball 25 to 30 times. Now, when it comes to the wide receivers, Robert Woods is a really, really good wide receiver. So, technically the Rams have 3 talented wide receivers with Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods on left and right. But now they're not going to have that slot guy, and their tight ends really aren't stepping up in the way that the Chiefs' tight end game has stepped up. And, that's Travis Kelce, so whatevs, it is what it is. But if Sammy Watkins is healthy, I think you give the advantage to the Chiefs at the wide receiver mark. I think with Tyreek this year, he's top 5 in yards, in receiving yards, and he has, 57 receptions. I'm sorry, I need to quit saying I think. I need to look this stuff up. But, he's up there in receptions. Travis Kelce leads the team in receptions, but Tyreek leads the team in yards. But he does have 9 touchdowns, Tyreek does. That's number 1 in football for a wide receiver. So I think you give the edge to the Chiefs when it comes to wide receivers. Brandon Cooks hasn't had the year that Tyreek's had, and nor has he ever had a year like Tyreek has had. And I've looked that statistics up, and quote me if I'm wrong, but Brandon Cooks has not performed at the level that Tyreek has. Last week, Tyreek literally had a touchdown on a punt return that got called back on a push in the back from Harris, which it could have went either way. I think that you could have called it. I think you might not have called it. Either way, it got called, and he had a punt return for a touchdown. But what Tyreek's done in the special games in the past 2 years is close to unheard of. So I don't think that Brandon Cooks or Cooper Kupp even come close to Tyreek to even call that close. So I think you give the Chiefs the edge. When it comes to Robert Woods and Sammy Watkins, you may give the edge to Robert Woods, but I think that edge from Tyreek on the one side is going to overcome that, and that's where the Chiefs take over and get that edge on the wide receiver side. Tight ends, obviously, it's Travis Kelce. He's going to get that edge all day over the Rams. Todd Gurley, I think, nudges Kareem Hunt, maybe a little more than a nudge. I mean, Todd Gurley's Todd Gurley, and Kareem Hunt is a spectacular running back. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Chiefs fan, a diehard Chiefs fan, but Todd Gurley is just an insane beast of an animal. And just watching him run, I mean, I just would not want to be on the back end of that trying to tackle that guy because he's massive. 13 touchdowns this year, leads the league in rushing. He's going to be tough to overcome for the Kansas City Chiefs, and we will just see how that goes. So I give the Rams the edge when it comes to the running backs. So when it comes to offensive line, I think that, and once again, I was reading some articles last night, and I think that Patrick is probably more mobile than Jared Goff is. He's got a better arm than Goff. In my opinion, I think he can throw the ball farther. I think he's more accurate when it comes to 20 plus yards a play this year. The Chiefs are, leaps and bounds over everyone. I mean, Patty's willing to take that risk, and he does quite a bit of the time. But that being said, I think both the offensive lines are similar because both quarterbacks have gotten the offensive line out of trouble or maybe made the offensive line look better than what they really are or ranked this year. Especially the Chiefs last week. You look at the Cardinals. I mean, defensively, and I said it in the podcast last week, I said it's going to be tough for Patty to throw 300 yards, and I said this might be the game where he doesn't throw 300 yards because when you look at the statistics and you see how good Arizona was at stopping the pass, that was, and it showed because he didn't throw for 300 yards. Granted, he missed Tyreek wide open on a 45-yard pass on a hook. Well, not a hook, but a flat, and then he was supposed to go left into the middle, and then Patty went right over to the sideline, and Tyreek, you could tell he was upset, but that he would have hit over 300 yards, but he didn't, and that's the main thing. So when it comes to offensive line, if Mitch Morris is healthy, if Eric Fisher's playing well, and you got, the other three, I think the Chiefs get a slight advantage on the offensive line. And then at quarterback, in my opinion, Jared Goff has a whole year under his belt, and this is his second season, so you have more to look at when you're looking at the quarterback comparison between Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes. But just look at the numbers. Jared Goff's right behind Patty when it comes to passing yards, but 31 touchdowns from Patrick. 31, and then if you count his 2 rushing touchdowns, look at the guy. The dude's insane. He's second in quarterback rating. Patty is first in passing yards, first in touchdowns. His completion percentage is top 10 in the league as well. So as of right now, you have to give the edge to Patrick Mahomes because of just what he's done this year and it being his first year. If you were to ask me, I don't even know if you could ask me that, but I think just seeing more of a sample size of Jared Goff, I'm more impressed with what he's done in the past, and after this year will be 2 years. I'm really excited of the sample size that Jared Goff has shown us in the NFL to say that I'm going to be here for a while. Like, I'm going to be here the next 10 years, maybe longer, as one of those top 5 to top 6 quarterbacks in football, and I'm going to be a force to be reckoned with. But when it comes to play this year, and just strictly this year, I think Patrick Mahomes has the edge. So with all that being said, in my opinion, the only edge the Rams have over the Chiefs is the run game. And if Andy Reid doesn't realize that, and Bob Sutton doesn't realize that, and figure a way out to stop the run, I think that's why the Chiefs lose on Monday. I think they'll lose because of the running game. I think they'll lose because of Todd Gurley. And granted, it is going to open up the pass, and they're going to expose what we have in our secondary. But the thing is, if we don't stop Todd Gurley, the Rams will win. Just plain and simple. So if you're Andy Reid and if you're Bob Sutton, that's your main focus. You got Cooper Kupp hurt, and if he's out, Granted, you have 2 wide receivers you have to worry about, but if you're blitzing the way that you did last week and D Ford is rushing the quarterback the way he did last week and having Justin Houston back healthy, Breeland Speaks playing well, if all those ingredients happen again on Monday night, then that passing game isn't really going to be there. You see where they are and they rank when it comes to passing. I mean, granted, Goff likes to pass. I mean, he's second in passing yards, and he's 7th in completion percentage, and he's number 1 when it comes to yards per pass. But when it comes to passing yards a game, I mean, he's 5th with 303, but it's all going to come down to the running game. And if I'm Andy Reid and I'm Bob Sutton, I'm looking at ways to blitz, and when you do man-on-man, and if they try and pass it to Todd Gurley at all, I'm looking at ways to stop him. I mean, kind of like in basketball, double team him if you can. Whatever you have to do, do it. That's all I'm saying. And I know it's easier said than done because he is the best running back in football, but you know what? There's been, 50 plus NFL years in Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith and, all those top legendary running backs, they've all had games where they were stopped. Okay? And if you're Andy Reid and you're one of the greatest coaches in the game right now, you have to have Bob Sutton's back because he's taking so much backlash. Help the guy out. Figure something out. Be with him. Hang around him. Figure something out. That's the only way the Rams win, in my opinion. If they run the ball 25-plus times, 20-25, and even then, it's still going to be a shootout. It's going to be like the Chiefs-Patriots game, 43-40. I mean, it's going to be something similar to that nature. Patty's going to have a great game. He's going to have to. There's really no other way around it because the Rams offense is going to expose the Chiefs defense for what it really is. And that's just my opinion. If the Chiefs defense really is starting to turn it around and start clicking together, and Nelson's actually starting to play a lot better, and it's turning in one of the better cornerbacks in the league, if that's the case, then we'll see this week. We're going to run up against one of the top offenses in football, and if we're able to stop them, then that'll be a true testament to what this defense is what they're going to accomplish. And if they're able to stop the Rams in any way, shape, or form on Monday night, then the Chiefs are the number 1 Super Bowl contender in the AFC. Hands down. There's no other way to look at it. But with that being said, the Chiefs, Patty has to have a great game. Kareem has to have a great game. There's not going to be a lot of room for mistake or error. Granted, we were down 10 against the Broncos, came back and won the game. We were down, a few touchdowns against the Patriots and to open the third quarter, and we just, third play on the drive, it was a touchdown to Kareem Hunt. Yes, those things have happened, but you can't bank on that to happen every time. You can't hope for Patty magic every single time. If you want to be the ticket in the AFC playoffs and you don't want the Chargers to get it, this is a game that we have to win. So in my opinion, I think Patty throws for over 300 yards. He's going to tie Trent Green's record for most 300-yard football games as a Chief with 9. Kareem, they don't run the ball that much. It just seems like it. They don't. And Spencer Ware, he's been turning it up and he's been doing well. But Kareem, I think that he's going to have, 80, 70 to 85 yards rushing, and then another 60 to 70 yards receiving, and maybe a couple touchdowns. I mean, he didn't have any last week, so I think that's going to change it. That's going to change this week. When it comes to Tyreek, he had 2 great plays last week, 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards receiving. I think he's going to have another great game. If Marcus Peters is on Tyreek Hill, see you later, dude. He's going to toast Marcus Peters, and that's when Patrick Mahomes, I know he took a lot of sacks last week. One, he's either got to evade the pocket and make those throws to Tyreek and be on the same page with Tyreek and not miss open plays like that, or two, and then 2, run away and then just throw the ball away. You can't take 5 sacks, especially against the Rams. You don't want to play field position with them. You don't want to be punting the ball as much as you have, especially against the Cardinals. You don't want to be doing that in this game. So with that being said, and I told you how the Rams are going to win, how the Chiefs are going to win is their bend but don't break defense. What they have to do is they're going to have at least 1 or 2 turnovers. They do every game. When they do that and when they create turnovers, it increases your chances to win for any football team in the NFL. But for the Chiefs, I think more so, because I think that when we create turnovers and it gives us good field position and it makes the touchdowns that much easier, it just makes it that much more relaxing on Patty, not to force things. But hey, I hope you guys liked the video. I mean, I went a little long. I think that the Chiefs will win the game, and the only way the Chiefs win is if they have 1 to 2 turnovers. Patty plays over 100 quarterback rating. Kareem gets 70 yards rushing, and then it's tough to say when it comes to passing because Patty likes to spread the ball around. So I'm not going to go and give my thoughts on that. But Chiefs win if they have some turnovers and Patty plays well. They will win on Monday night. And that is how I feel. So, hey, everyone, thanks for listening to the video. I know it's a little long at 20 minutes. So to all you Rams fans out there, man, hey, my heart's out there with you guys. I hope everything with the fires and all that stuff, I hope, they get that under control. And, I'll pray to God that they just some light rain, that way it doesn't cause mudslides, but I'll pray for you guys out there. My my wife does have some family out there, so my heart goes out to all of you guys out there. So wish the best of luck to you and all that stuff. But, hey, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell notification. Jesse and I will be here on Sunday night, but I'll see you later, my junkies.